I really want to give you some hope. If you have been laid off or have recently lost a job, please do not be discouraged. Sometimes in life, things happen that are just outside of our control. Please don't give up, stick in there. What's to come could be so much better. If you're in between jobs right now, I want to offer some support and also some, productive ideas that you can do in this time just so you can start running, right? So in my opinion, the best way to go about this is to create a financial control panel. It's basically just a spreadsheet with all of your financial information in one centralized location. It's just so much easier this way. I actually have one that I give away for free. If you want it, message me on Instagram and I can just send it to you straight from there. So yes, you want to make sure you have something like this in place. It's going to be just so helpful. So you want to make sure to know how much money you have in severance pay, if that applies to you. How much money do you have in savings? And also, how much money do you have to spend on expenses each and every month? This is very important. When it comes to expenses, you really want to make sure you have listed out all of your monthly expenses with the due dates and the amounts and everything in the financial control panel that I give away. It's just plug and play, it makes it really easy for you. So yeah, you want to have all this nice and packaged up. Also, you want to take into account all of your assets and liabilities. On the control panel, there's a place for that as well. So any IRAs, any investments that you have, also liabilities, so debts. You want to make sure to have that all written down. We're not really doing anything in this phase. We just want to see where we're at. We want to have clarity, because once we understand our place, our position, now we can make a plan, right? It doesn't have to be so intimidating once we know what we're working with, right? So while we're on the topic of liabilities, which is simply just debt, we really want to get, a handle on the debts that we have. So for example, if you have credit card debts, the best thing to do would be to call up the credit card companies and just be honest and sincere about your situation and see if you can negotiate down your interest rate, right? Because that's going to save you a lot of money. Also, if you have any other creditors, any other loans, see if you can, same thing, be honest with them and explain your situation and see if you can work out like a deferment plan or maybe lower payments. So that will be, very helpful when you have maybe not as much income coming in. You don't have to be intimidated to do this. Sometimes all you really have to do is ask. In hard times, people are willing to work with you. And if you're calling up a credit card company and the first customer service rep says no, call again. Okay, maybe at a different time. If you called in the morning, maybe next time call in the afternoon. You're gonna get a different person each time anyways. So yeah, just keep trying, and you really don't have anything to lose with that, right? If you have any student loans, call them up and see if they have any forbearance options. So they should help out a lot in this situation. If not, you can also ask them if they have any income-driven payment plans so they can work with you depending on how much money you are bringing in. Also, if you haven't already, check out unemployment benefits in your state. You definitely want to apply as soon as possible because the times may vary on that. So getting that done ASAP is the best. If you are eligible for severance or other type of pay, that might affect your unemployment benefits. So please keep that in mind as you go forward. So when it comes to some relief programs for health insurance, COBRA is good if you're in between jobs to kind of cover that gap. You can also check on the marketplace. Also, always check community-based programs, so food banks and utility assistance. You want to do this before you swipe the credit card more. You really want to avoid racking up any debt if possible. There's so much support if you just are intentional about looking for it and not being shameful to ask for help. We don't want to dig ourselves into a deeper hole if we really don't have to, and there's people out there that are so ready and willing to help. If you're in between jobs, obviously your income has probably reduced significantly, so this is where you really want to make the most out of each dollar, and the best way to do that is to make a spending plan. That's what a budget is. A lot of people don't like the word budget. It's like limiting. All it is a spending plan. You really got to divide up your monies, right, before it gets spent, so that way you're not wondering where it all went. But when it comes to making a spending plan, I usually like to divide things up into four main categories. All expenses can go into one of these four. So the first one is bills and monthly debt payments. The second is essentials. So this is groceries, transportation like gas, hygiene, and household products. Things that need to be replenished every couple weeks, right? The third one is definitely the most flexible. So it's lifestyle. So this is if you need to buy clothes or food, or if you are eating out, it would go here. Also, this is where you would have a cushion for any unexpected things that happen, because they always do, right? And the fourth one is savings and investments. So you should not have any money that doesn't belong to one of these four categories. If not, it would just get spent wherever, right? So when it comes to this, keep it simple. No need to have a billion categories. They go more into detail about that in the video down in the description. You can watch that after you watch this one. I actually go through a real example so you can see how that works. So making a spending plan is definitely a huge thing that will help out so much, and keeping track of those expenses. Another thing, you want to go through your bank statements and go line by line. Any unused subscriptions, you want to go ahead and cancel that with a quickness, right? Is there anything anywhere you can downgrade? Maybe internet, maybe you're not watching TV these days. Go ahead and downgrade that, because sometimes we're paying more than we need. If you have any big purchases, maybe you can postpone that until you're in a better situation, but just make sure if you can cancel that and maybe get any refunds, that'd be great. The main things that you want to make sure you have enough for your priorities is your housing, your food, utilities, and insurance. Obviously, if you have a car, you can't drive without it. So you really want to make sure that you have enough for these, and then the rest you can be, more flexible with. So obviously there's only so far you can go with cutting down expenses before you gotta make some income, right? That's gonna just help you out so much. So look into side hustles. If you have a car, you can drive for Uber Eats, Lyft. That's obviously the best way to get some cash on the daily, right? Also, Amazon, you can look for become a delivery driver with them, and I think they provide the car as well. If you have any passions or hobbies, now that you have the time, you can maybe start looking into how you can monetize that, right? The best advice that I can give when it comes to this is if you see a need in the community, somebody that you know or, out and about, see how you can serve them, provide value for them, because that value that you can provide, it's not easily reproduced with just like a machine or like any other person. No, it's you, something that you can specifically do. So that's definitely the best way to go about it. So a quick story time. A few years ago, I was back in my country with my family. We were just sitting in the gallery, and there was a man walking with a really heavy gas tank on his shoulder. And my uncle saw him, and he just ran down and was like, "Let me give you a ride." So he gave him a quick ride with his motorcycle, and he got a little bit of money because of that. I mean, that just really opened my eyes to, there's money making opportunities everywhere. Also, I really recommend the book The Go Giver. And pretty much the premise of this book is that the amount of money that you can make is proportionate to the amount of people that you can help out. And nowadays with the internet, that truly means that there is no limit. See, always be alert and aware of where you can serve others. And a lot of times you will get paid handsomely because of that. If you've been in a career for a long time, think about maybe starting consulting. That's always good, right? People always want advice. People always want someone who's already done it to help them out. So start online, maybe on Facebook, go live, or a YouTube channel. Just get your name out there, go to networking events, and get your name out there, meet people, and you'll never know what can come out of that. So most likely you want to get to work as soon as possible. So you definitely want to get your resume up and ready, right? On YouTube, there's so many free nuggets on there and how to really stand out. Also, when you're applying somewhere, go in person. Not everyone's going to go in person. So that's going to help you stand out from the crowd. Just introduce yourself to the manager and talk to them. Human to human, that will definitely work wonders. Also, if you want to up your skills and your certifications, look online. So there's websites like allison.com that has I'm pretty sure all the courses are free and they're high value. And also LinkedIn Learning. If you have a library card, which you should have, it's free. Sometimes they're partnered with different programs. So in my area, my library is connected to LinkedIn Learning, and man, those are some high quality courses. So if you can get access to something like that for free, that's just amazing. So definitely look to see what programs your library is connected to. So that could be a huge help. So I'm a pretty optimistic person. I definitely believe there's a will, there's a way. If you put yourself out there and if you have the motivation, you have the want to, to move forward, you will. And so when you do find that new job or you do start that new business, please keep in mind to start an emergency fund first things first. So let's say you should definitely pay your minimums on your debts. But before throwing more money on the debts, get your emergency fund filled first. At least $1,000 just to start, right? After that, you can work on your fully funded emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months expenses, but get you at least $1,000 and then you can work from there. The last thing I want to say on this topic, take care of your physical health and mental health. Make sure you're eating, make sure you're sleeping. Maybe don't watch the news or don't look at news things before bed. Maybe not even be on electronics before bed, just so you can get that good sleep, right? So make sure you're sleeping, you're drinking water, eating fruits, vegetables, and be around people that are of optimistic mindset as well, because that just makes so much of a difference, and you just want to be lifted up in high spirits and really have faith that this will work out for your best interest. Okay, it's so easy to get caught up with everything that's going on, but we can choose what we focus on, right? So I really hope this helps. Once again, if you want the control panel, just message me on Instagram or Facebook and I'll send that over to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, God bless.